everybody! This is Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert, a NASCAR and racing podcast. After a bang to start the season off in Daytona, Trucks, O'Reilly, and Cup Series travel out to Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia for the second races of the season. Firepower still showing up for the truck race. Kyle Busch, Corey Heim, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Dillon, John Hunter Nemechek, all in this one, ready to battle those full-time drivers on the fast mile and a half. O'Reilly would be the second half of the scheduled doubleheader on Saturday. Can anyone stop the Richard Childress pair of Jesse Love and, of course, Austin Hill, who has been so dominant on the super speedways? Hill already has 5 Atlanta wins on his resume. Then the main event on Sunday, Cup Series from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Can Tyler Reddick keep his momentum going after winning the Daytona 500? Or will Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Joey Logano, or Denny Hamlin dust the cobwebs off for a win in 2026? Yellow flag, green flag, discussions with Dave, NASCAR history time, interviews with Tyler Reif and Parker Retzlaff, drivers to look out for, and predictions for St. Pete and Circuit of the Americas, Fast Davies bets, and so much more on this episode of Splash of Gas. As always, we're sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He will be able to help you with all your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please make sure you follow all the Splash of Gas social medias for midweek and on-track updates. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert. Now for trivia question time. This episode's question is, and we mentioned this last episode, what year did Atlanta Motor Speedway open in? Answer coming in at the end. Now for paint scheme of the week, another cool throwback to the number 6 Roush Fenway car that Mark Martin drew with that Valvoline paint scheme. The 6 lettering just looks fast, very neat graphic, and Mark Martin won a lot of races in that Valvoline paint scheme. Now for our interview with Truck Series driver Tyler Reif. Here's what Tyler had to say.
Next guest we bring on the Splash of Gas is the driver of the 41 Chevy for Nice Motorsports, Tyler Reif. Thanks for joining the show, Tyler.
Yeah, thank you for having me on today.
Yeah, of course. Before we get into the trucks, you've been racing ARCA National East and West Series for a number of years, 3 wins underneath your belt. How did your time in the ARCA Series help you develop as a driver?
I think ARCA was very helpful, just understanding the intermediate side of stuff coming into the truck series, especially like with Atlanta running in Michigan and Kansas and stuff like that last year. I think really helped for stuff like this weekend and the dirty aspect or the dirty air aspect of stuff and learning how to maneuver your car and pull people back with the side draft and whatnot. So I'm really excited to go to Atlanta this weekend and see what I've learned through the ARCA throughout the years and what I can apply to the truck.
Cool. Just mentioned the aerodynamics on the ARCA side. Anything specific that you felt like that you've improved on from when you first got in an ARCA car?
Yeah, definitely. I just feel like there's definitely a big jump from the truck to the ARCA car, how much the dirty air plays. I like the aspect of that. But I just feel like the years over Phoenix and Bristol and stuff like that, just getting used to the dirty air and how the car is going to react versus you have a right front fender out or a left front fender out. So I'm glad that I did that the past 2 or 3 years and just got an idea of what's going to happen when I go to Atlanta.
Awesome. Seems like you're ready for that. You make your debut in the Truck Series last year in the season finale race in Phoenix. You start 13th and come up with an impressive P9 finish. You just mentioned that you're no stranger to that track, but how was that whole experience in your Truck Series debut?
It was really fun. I think we struggled a little bit the first stage, and I think we ran from 15th to 16th and steadily just got a little bit better throughout the night. It was really fun. I just think we lost a couple spots on pit road the last stop, and I think we should have finished probably around 6, but it was still really good for my debut. Nothing to complain about. I'm very thankful for the opportunity from Nice Motorsports and everybody behind me at Chevrolet. It was just really cool to get top 10 on my debut, and just hoping to continue the success throughout this year.
Got it. And an impressive debut for sure. As you know, Phoenix is a unique track. Restarts with no out of bounds on turn 1 and 2. Without giving any of your secrets away, I mean, what are you looking for there on the turns, and what line works best for you over there?
I just feel like it really depends what the goal is. Like in the truck was something new that we could never do in the ARCA car. I don't know if it was the aerodynamic side of it or there's a little more power in the truck, but it was something new I had to learn. Was running the top in 3 and 4. I actually found a lot of speed there and picked up a lot of my passes on the green flag runs, running the top in 3 and 4 and kind of getting a good straight drive off of 4 and getting to the dog leg before anybody else and just cutting a lot of distance. So that was really cool. It was the ARCA stuff has helped over the years, and winning there and learning the line was all pretty much the same the whole race in ARCA, but it was really cool getting able to move around in the truck and just trying to find your own lane. I just saw the last restart, we went 5 wide or whatever it was up front. So really just the best line was kind of wherever the clean air was. So that was pretty cool.
Cool. No, thanks for touching upon that. You just made some comparisons, but always like to ask this question when there's drivers from different, driving different series throughout their careers. And what's like the main differences or similarities from the ARCA car to the truck for you?
I feel like it's honestly really similar. Like they kind of power wise feel the same and whatnot. I feel like it's easier to overdrive or overslip the tire in the truck, and definitely easier to do that when you are in dirty air. And I just feel like with more trucks in the field compared to the ARCA series, that there's generally more air that you're gonna be racing behind, especially if you're mid-pack. And I feel like, especially at a place like Phoenix, the biggest aspect is kind of just find your own lane, even if it's 4 lanes up in 1 and 2 or 4 lanes down in 1 and 2, just to get the clean air. I feel like is definitely the best.
Cool. Didn't even really think about that, but makes a lot of sense. I really appreciate that insight. Was announced at the end of last year that you'd be running a majority of the Truck Series schedule, the 41 for this season. It seems like you connected with the guys from Nice pretty well at the end of last year. Your schedule is about to start, but how's it been working with everyone at Nice Motorsports?
I think it's really cool. I like everybody here, and hopefully they all like me here. I think they do. So I try to be here every day and just connect with everyone as much as I can. So we all work together as a team at the track. And I think it was cool to come here because it's more of a family. Like everyone's really close. Leighton, our media person, hosts NASCAR every Monday night, which is really cool just to get everyone together. And I think racing with my family growing up the past 15 years and just running a family-owned team on the late model stuff, just growing up with my brother working on the cars and stuff. It was really cool to come to an operation like this. It was just really fit in for me.
Awesome. Seems like a great family environment. Saw your brother in the spotlight with the Ram race for the seat as well. So very, very exciting. I didn't realize that Nice has a little dirt track behind the shop there. Have you had any time to get out on that one?
Yeah, we went out there. I went out there one time so far since I've been here. It was definitely really fun. It was pretty cool. When I first got a tour here it was me, my mom, and Cody Efall. And he showed us that, and I was like blown away. I don't think you'll ever see that anywhere else. So that was really cool. And I got to go run it I think it was about a month ago now, and it was really fun. There was a bunch of us out there, and Ross Chastain was here, and it was just really cool to see the people that have graduated from Nice and now into the Cup Series just come back and run that type of stuff with Nice Motorsports, and just shows how much it really means to everybody.
That's really cool. It sounds like a lot of fun. Cool. This year on the Truck Series for you, I mean, you just mentioned several of the tracks that you raced ARCA with. There's going to be some that you never raced on. How do you prepare mentally for tracks like that when you have limited practice, qualifying time, and it's new to you?
Well, I think being ready, like skill-wise versus mentally-wise, is a big difference. I feel like mentally-wise, there's not a whole lot you can do other than watch previous film, and I'm a big believer in manifesting and just wishing for success. And I think going into like St. Pete, a track we've never been to, just watching film from like the MX5 Cup Series and just stuff that races there, talking to people that have raced there, like Tracy and whatnot, and then just making sure I'm in the right mindset and leading up to the race. I'm just making sure everything's going good at the shop, making sure I'm crossing my just everything's done and just making sure everything's ready.
Got it. Seems like you'll be prepared extremely for all these tracks on the schedule. You make the 2026 season debut this Saturday afternoon on the Fast Half Miles Atlanta. You were just talking about you racing there in the ARCA series. There's no practice in this one. You're just qualifying on Friday, then the race. Assuming you're going to be leaning a lot on your ARCA seat time on that. I mean, how do you prepare for a race with no practice time?
I think the only way to prepare is just the same time we get at Chevrolet. And then I've been doing a lot of iRacing, and my spotter, TJ Majors, will look at a lot of data and going over previous races and film tonight and just trying stuff on the simulator for a couple hours tonight. So I just feel like the only way you can prepare is just talk to the connections that you have and people who have ran good there before. I've talked to Bailey Curry about it, and I've talked to Grant Enfinger about it, and they gave me a lot of knowledgeable information for this weekend, and I'm excited to see how we run.
Awesome. A lot of good people in your corner for sure. How do you expect the racing to be in Atlanta?
I think it's going to be fun. I think from the previous years I've watched that it's the top obviously is better there late in the run, but I think you can really make a lot of stuff happen on restarts, just making sure your lane gets going and making sure you're connected with the person in front of you and getting a good restarts. I think you can really pick up a couple rows here and there, or you can really go back a row here and there. So I think just executing the whole race is going to be the best thing you could do.
Got it. All about execution in the end, like you just said. And last question, long season, and I know you want to win races, but besides winning, what are your goals for 2026 in Truck Series?
I think obviously everybody wants to win, but honestly, kind of just finish every race. I think is my first half year in the Truck Series, I guess you could call it. Just making sure I do my notes and finish every lap I can, just learn as much as I can for 2027 and just execute. I think executing every weekend and making sure I keep the truck clean, bring it home in one piece, and able to build on it instead of fix it when we come back here, and making sure my notebook's full for next year. So when we go out for next, Chase wins it, we
got it. Awesome. Seems like you got everything set up. Really appreciate the time, Tyler, and best of luck in Atlanta.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Hope to have you on before the season ends, and we'll talk soon.
Yep, anytime. Thank you.
See ya. Thanks, man.
Bye.
Now the Truck Series recap from Atlanta. Trucks would be first on the track for the weekend. Jake Garcia would win the pole and be up front alongside his teammate Ben Rhodes. 20 laps in, top three is Rhodes, Majeski, and Kyle Busch, and they start to pull away. After starting 20th, Corey Heim, last year's truck champ, is up to 4th. As the laps of the first stage would tick down, Heim would make his way to the top spot and win Stage 1. Ben Rhodes and Andres Perez de Laura restart for the middle stage. Rhodes would be leading for most of the stage, as it would stay entirely green. But with 2 to go, Ben Rhodes would run out of gas. Stuart Friesen and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. battle on the final lap, and the stage would be won by Friesen. Friesen and Jake Garcia restart for the final stage. First yellow of the day occurred 12 laps into Stage 3, when Cole Butcher, Butterbean Queen, and Chris Wright all tangle. Kyle Busch and Stuart Friesen restart up front. Busch, Friesen, Stenhouse Jr., Giovanni Ruggiero, and Carson Hocevar would all be getting runs towards the front in the closing lap. With the race being delayed from the rain, NASCAR put a time limit on the race. More on that on discussions with Dave. Eventually on the final lap, Busch, Hocevar, and Ruggiero all run 3 wide out of turn 2. Kyle Busch would get the edge off turn 4 and win by just over 0.1 seconds to Carson Hocevar in second. What a finish. Truly a nail-biter. Not knowing when the last lap would occur, definitely a unique situation, but in the end, Kyle Busch edges out Carson Hocevar. Now for the recap from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race that followed later that afternoon. Sam Mayer would be the fastest in qualifying and lead the pack to green alongside Carson Kvapil. After an early yellow, the rest of the stage would stay green. Towards the end of the stage, Jesse Love, Raja Caruth, and Parker Retzlaff battle for the stage win. Caruth clears underneath Retzlaff for the second spot behind Jesse Love. Jesse Love wins stage 1. Love and Sheldon Creed restart for the middle stage. Raja Caruth and Justin Allgaier will get into the mix as well. The second stage stays completely green. Raja Caruth would start to battle for the top spot again with about 20 laps left. Then as the laps counted down, they would go single file with Raja leading. Raja Caruth wins the middle stage and his first stage ever at the O'Reilly Auto Parts level. William Sawalich and Carson Kvapil restart for stage 3. 3 yellows would occur early and throughout the middle of the stage, involving Carson Kvapil, Cody Ware, Sammy Smith, Ryan Ellis, and several others. They restart with 13 laps to go. Ross Chastain and Austin Hill. 2 laps later, another yellow though. Sam Mayer sends Josh Williams into the wall. Again, the same pair of Chastain and Hill restart up front, this time with 6 laps to go. On the final lap, Hill would be in the lead. Chastain bumps Austin entering turn 3. Hill goes sideways, and Sheldon Creed takes the lead and wins his first ever O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race. So exciting. Sheldon, unfortunately, set the record in the Xfinity/O'Reilly Series for the most second place finishes without a win. He finally punched his ticket to victory lane. Well earned for Creed and team. Now for the Cup Series recap from Atlanta. After 2 very exciting finishes for the Trucks and O'Reilly Series, Cup would be ready to put on a show. Qualifying would be rained out, and based off of points and last weekend's finish, Tyler Reddick and Joey Logano take the field to green. Reddick, Logano, Brad Keselowski all battle for the lead early in the first stage. Cindric, Wallace, Larson, Byron, and Elliott all come on strong towards the end. Austin Cindric goes on to win stage 1. Kyle Larson and William Byron lead to start stage 2. Laps later, the first yellow for incident would fly as Ty Gibbs and Christopher Bell make contact, sending Gibbs into the wall, collecting 8 others. Larson and Reddick restart. 10 laps later, another yellow as Austin Dillon gets bumped, sending him spinning into the pits. 6 other cars would collect damage. Another yellow for a Kyle Busch spin, and the second half of the middle stage would stay green. Late, Kyle Larson, Chase Briscoe, and Bubba Wallace battle 3 wide for the top spot. On the final lap of the stage, Larson makes a late block on SVG, taking the blame on the move after. Bubba Wallace wins the second stage as it ends under yellow. Ryan Blaney and Zane Smith restart for the final stage. Chase Briscoe would surge early and jump out to the lead, bringing us to the first yellow of the third stage on lap 199 for spinning Shane Van Gisbergen. All lead cars besides Carson Hocevar pit. After 2 more yellows, we see Bell and Cindric restart with 26 laps to go. 3 laps to go. Bubba Wallace and Carson Hocevar would be battling hard. William Byron hits the wall in the front pack and triggers a big wreck with 11 cars involved. This will put the race into overtime. On the first overtime restart, Bubba Wallace leads on the inside, Christopher Bell on the outside. Entering turn 1, Carson Hocevar tries to go between Wallace and Bell, then hooks Bell, who hits the outside wall, bringing out the yellow, putting the race into a second overtime. Wallace and Hocevar restart. Bubba gets the jump and clears through turn 1. Hocevar and Reddick get underneath Bubba. Hocevar and Reddick battle side by side to the line. White flag, final lap. Tyler Reddick clears for the lead as Hocevar fades to 5th in turn 2. Tyler Reddick wins by over a 1/10 of a second over Chase Briscoe. Tyler Reddick goes back-to-back after winning the Daytona 500. And if you were watching the race, Reddick got damage to the right front of his car in one of the earlier wrecks. His car was banged and battered, but nonetheless, he puts it in victory lane. What a way to start the season for 2311 and that 45 team. Quick look back at the predictions we made. Trucks went with Corey Heim. He wins a stage but finishes 5th in the time-shortened event. O'Reilly Series tapped Austin Hill to get his 6th win in Atlanta, but that slips away on the final lap and he finishes 12th. Cup, I went with Ryan Blaney. He's up front, but in the end, finishes 10th. Yellow flag, green flag. Trucks, yellow flag. NASCAR. The timed way the race ended, there's not too many laps already in the Truck Series race. I understand that the start of the race got delayed because of rain. Atlanta has lights. There was no weather in the forecast. You could push the O'Reilly Series race back a little bit to get a full-length truck race in. I didn't understand that. Trucks green to Giovanni Ruggiero. He finishes P3 and top of the full-time truck drivers. He was 2nd in Daytona and also won the ARCA race there. Hot start for the season for a young Ruggiero. O'Reilly yellow. He finished 4th. He's still learning a lot, but yellow flag to Corey Day. Started several incidents that took a couple guys out. He even got a call from the NASCAR booth on his move on Ryan Sieg on lap 4. O'Reilly, green flag. Sheldon Creed. Such a long road for him to get his first Xfinity/O'Reilly Series race win after so many close P2 finishes. Cup Series yellow. Kyle Larson and his spotter, they dropped the ball and did take the blame, give him credit for that, but he bumps into Shane Van Gisbergen, and that would end Larson's day. Cup, green, 2311, and that hot 45 team we were just talking about. So much fight to come back, to go back-to-back, winning the 500 the weekend before. Now for discussions with Dave. Even though the Truck Series race did get shortened by NASCAR, it was an exciting finish at the end. Kyle Busch swoops in front of Carson Hocevar and Gio Ruggiero as the three were battling. Awesome tight race. And same thing with O'Reilly. Truly thought Austin Hill was going to walk away with that in a dominant 21 car again, but Ross Chastain bumps him and Sheldon Creed triumphs on the outside lane. Also exciting to see Parker Retzlaff finish 2nd, too. I ended up losing count with the amount of P2 finishes Sheldon had in the Xfinity Series. I believe it was up to 14 and 15. Nonetheless, so exciting as a fan to see Sheldon in victory lane. You could tell he was partying with his team after. Well deserved. Next topic, not to keep taking our topics from yellow flag, green flag, O'Reilly Series, Corey Day, learning or wrecking. Corey Day is a young, up-and-coming, highly skilled driver. Made a name for himself on the dirt side of things. Between ARCA, now Xfinity, O'Reilly Series, this isn't the first time I've heard other drivers talking about getting Corey Day'd, quote-unquote. And yes, I understand their frustrations, especially ARCA, but still nonetheless, the O'Reilly Series is a place for young drivers to learn and develop. You have veteran drivers, of course, in that mix to hopefully keep them in line, but Corey Day wrecking Sieg on lap 4, yes, the hole was there, he's being aggressive, and he's learning. Just too early in the race to even do that. As a race fan, I was kind of 50-50 on the move, and then the NASCAR booth did radio to Corey Day saying, hey, pump the brakes there, a little bit too early to be that aggressive. I mean, the move was very similar to the one Carson Hocevar made towards the end of the Cup race. Day needs to learn there. He does get caught up in wrecks involving Carson Kvapil, Justin Allgaier. It wasn't just one, that's why we're bringing it up. Corey Day, when I've talked to him, he is soft-spoken and just so focused on racing. I don't think this is attention to detail issue by any means. The young Day is learning. It's different than the dirt racing that Corey said before on the show he could race with his eyes closed. He has to have both eyes peeled, both hands and both feet working on this one. Corey's going to learn. Some people are going to get annoyed at that. It's just part of the series sometimes. Still believe that Day will end up in victory lane before this O'Reilly season ends. Early ending of the Truck Series race. Was just talking about the awesome, exciting finish. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Carson Hocevar, Kyle Busch, Gio Ruggiero, all making runs there at the end. But as I said in yellow flag, green flag, there's lights in Atlanta. What would that move back? The O'Reilly start? 15, 20 minutes? It was delayed already. And don't get me started on the whole TV side of things, but I'm sure that probably played a part in it as well. Nonetheless, for the sponsors, for the drivers, for the teams, just run all the laps of the Truck Series. Wasn't like there was rain or thunderclouds right ahead. The storm had passed. Moving right along. Hocevar taking the hole on the inside in overtime. Just comparing Carson Hocevar's move to the one Corey Day made. Aggressive moves, still good, just needed to be at different parts of the race. The one that Carson Hocevar made, the hole was there. He went for it. Kudos to him. Bell gets a little bit tight there. It's an overtime. That is go time. Hocevar, say what you want to say with him. He's putting his nose trying to get to victory lane. Do not blame him for Bell going into the wall there, pushing the race into the second overtime. Hocevar, as you see, starts on the outside lane, was charging there. In the end, he doesn't get any help and fades to fifth. All in all, Hocevar's aggressiveness might have bit him not having friends at the end of that one. Just a thought. Tyler Reddick goes back-to-back with a damaged car. Classic NASCAR. Not the first time we've seen banged-up cars in victory lane. Nowadays, with aero being so important, that doesn't happen too much. But with so many wrecks, double overtime, we see Tyler Reddick prevail with no right quarter panel to finish the race. Michael Jordan again pumped in victory lane as that 45 team goes to victory lane on back-to-back weekends. And that's Discussions with Dave, Part 1. Now, NASCAR history time. The origins of NASCAR. 1947. NASCAR is born. Every great movement begins with an idea. And for NASCAR, that spark came on a mild December day in 1947 at the Streamline Hotel in Daytona Beach. That is where Bill France Sr., a 38-year-old racer and promoter who had been organizing events on the Daytona Sand Course in the late 30s, set out to bring structure and vision to a rapidly growing sport. Recognizing the need for consistency, rules, and a centralized leadership, France Sr. gathered 35 key figures across the emerging world of stock car racing. Over a series of meetings, the group laid the groundwork for what would become the National Association of Stock Car Auto Racing, unifying competitors, promoters, and tracks under a single governing body and officially beginning the birth of NASCAR. Now for Discussions with Dave, Part 2. Brad Keselowski still uncertain of his status for Circuit of the Americas. Keselowski still remains focused on being in the race in COTA. As we've been talking, Keselowski did break his leg in a skiing incident at the mountains over the offseason. Brad did not race in the Clash, but has been in the car for Daytona and Atlanta, walking around the pits with a cane. The whole reason for question at COTA, with it being a road course, the added shifting, will it be too much for Keselowski? He will sure give it his all. Moving right along. Toyota signs Keelan Harvick to a development deal. Truly interesting. As we've seen his father, Cup Series champ, Kevin Harvick, always be in a Chevy throughout his career. Between Richard Childress, then Stuart Haas, Harvick has always been in a Chevy. The younger Harvick, that is now to change. And the elder Harvick has said, even though his son is following in his footsteps, that Keelan, he's not pushing Keelan in any direction, and Keelan can make what he wants of the sport. And we just see this in the Toyota deal. Good move by Toyota, 100%. A young, emerging driver. Saw him win the Snowflake 125 this past December in Pensacola. He is on the come-up, this kid. One thing that did surprise me about this deal is that Harvick is partnership with Rackley War. They are primarily a Chevy team with Dawson Sutton in the Truck Series and all their late model stuff up to date. Now, the 62 Chevy will now be the 62 Toyota Camry. Excited to watch the young Harvick's progression through the sport. Last topic on this episode's edition of Discussions with Dave. We know that Dario Franchitti, racing legend, will be running the one Tricon Garage truck as they go to St. Petersburg on the road course there. Was announced that Dario's good buddy, Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champ, first time ever being a crew chief, will be calling the shots for the one. Will be really neat to watch Johnson in the crew chief seat for the first time. With Jimmy saying next year's Daytona 500 will be his last, is this a preview to come? We'll find out. That wraps up this episode's edition of Discussions with Dave. Now our interview with full-time O'Reilly Auto Parts driver Parker Retzlaff. Here's what Parker had to say.
Next guest, we bring on the Splash of Gas, the driver of the 99 Chevy for Viking Motorsports and the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, Parker Retzlaff. Thanks for joining the show again, Parker.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course, man. Always good to chat with you. Before we get into this season, after a couple seasons with George and Anderson Racing, you're full-time again in the Xfinity Series with Alpha Prime last year. Your best P2 finish early in the season at Rockingham, 3 top 10s, 8 top 15s. How would you sum up your 2025 season with Alpha Prime?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my year was very up and down there, but overall we just couldn't really get it going in, I guess, the way that we want to. So I decided to make a change to Viking Motorsports right at the end of last season, and it's been the best change that I've ever made. So first of all, just got to thank Don from Viking and all of our partners who have been involved in everything.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate you going over that. This isn't the first time that you've switched teams. I mean, and even Alpha Prime co-owner Cesar Baccarella spoke very highly of you with your time there. How has the process been switching to Viking so far?
Yeah, the process of switching to Viking has been completely amazing. I've had the most fun I've ever had in a off season of trying to get stuff done, but also the most fun I've had with a whole entire team and company going ahead.
Okay, awesome. Appreciate you touching upon that. You mentioned the off season. I mean, the regular season is long as it is, and sometimes off season can be busier than the regular season. But did you have any time to relax and decompress?
Yeah, I mean, I went on a cruise like the second week after the season ended. Just me and my girlfriend, but other than that, no, I was very focused forward on trying to do what we've been doing the last couple of weeks and trying to make sure we run good. So all the guys on the Viking number 99 have been putting in a lot of hours and just trying to make sure that we're as prepared as we can be to do motorsports and all of our partners. We've had Funkway in the car at Daytona, and then Cairo at the car at Echo Park. And this weekend, we're just going to try and do it again.
Awesome. Heck yeah. This isn't the first year you've had your partnership with Funkaway for several years now. I mean, switching different teams. What does it mean to you that they stick around with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always grateful to keep them and have them and everything they've done to support my whole career since the start. So they've been with me every single year of my NASCAR racing career, and I'm just trying to, keep giving it back to them. I want to keep trying to run good and hopefully win a race in a Funkaway car this year.
That's awesome. Appreciate you touching upon that. You started the Xfinity Series part-time in 2022, then, last 3 years full-time. From when you started to now, I mean, where do you think you've specifically improved as a driver?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've improved in a lot of ways, but I think that this year I've seen the biggest improvement with my whole team and all the stuff we're doing throughout the week with film watching and, just stuff throughout the week to try and be as prepared as we can be with my spotter, Doug Campbell, has done a great job to make sure that we're on the same page and we have a really good plan going into every weekend so far.
Cool. Awesome. Appreciate you touching upon that also. And really cool. You can, those little things, like you said, really do help the execution. Getting into this season, 2 weekends ago, start the year out in Daytona. You qualified 27th, get some stage points in stage 2, finishing 6th, and come home with a P14 finish. I mean, carnage in that one from start to finish. How were you feeling in the 99, and how would you sum up your weekend there?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we didn't qualify, I think, as well as we had hoped, but I think that as soon as the race started, I knew that we had a pretty good car. We were able to kind of drive through the field, and I feel like soak up really well and just get close to other cars. So we, just had to kind of keep fighting through Daytona and try to get some stage points. We got stage points in stage 1, and then, I think we finished 11th in stage 1, and then stage 2, I got, I think, 5 stage points. So we were just trying to have a clean day, get some stage points if we could, and get through Daytona with a clean car.
Yeah, that could be the name of the game there. I mean, as you saw even before the car start to pass the start-finish line, it was a wild one to watch from the grandstands. Was having a good time. Right back in Atlanta this past weekend. Another super speedway style track. We've seen you run up front on these style tracks. I mean, at the Cup level as well. Daytona Summer Race in 2024. Is it aero, the drafting? What has clicked for you to help find success at the super speedways? And has that been a boost to your confidence as a driver?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's been just I think that I've showed up very confident this entire year with everyone I have behind me, with all the guys back in the shop and Danny Hamlin making all the calls, and I have a lot of trust in all those guys. So I think it's a lot easier to be confident in your car and make a lot more moves and try and run up front when you show up every week confident in all the guys at the shop.
Great to hear how much confidence you have in the Viking guys. Really neat to hear that. At Echo Park Speedway in Atlanta, you qualified 23rd this past weekend, right behind teammate Anthony Alfredo. You showed that you had a rocket right away, battling Raja Caruth and Jesse Love at the end of stage 1, where you finished 3rd, 8th in the middle stage. How are you feeling early going into the final stage there?
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew really early. We started, I think you said 23rd, and I drove up to the top 5 there at the end of stage 1, so I knew we had a pretty good car. I think on lap 5 or 6 or something, I was already up to 14th or 13th, so I knew we had a really good car, and we were just trying to, make sure we could make it into the race. And so we got through stage 1. We finished 3rd, just barely lost 2nd there. And then stage 2, we got 8 stage points. We just kind of got a little behind and a little too tight to make as much speed as we were making in the first stage. So Stage 3 started, we made, I think, a little bit of the wrong call and took 2 tires and got a little bit behind on it. But as soon as we were just kind of getting the rhythm, we had a spring fall out of another car that went through our left front of our car. So we had to come down pit road and try and fix it and patch the big hole we had in the nose. And we decided to put tires on it and try and make the car a little bit better. And then from there, we were just, we were just on the aggression side of it, of trying to be the one to make the moves and try and go forward. And that's what we did in the last 25 laps, was drove from, I think, starting outside the top 20 to, finish second there on the last lap.
Yeah, that 99 really came to life after that, and you could see that you were driving with aggression, as you just said, and wild finish with it going into OT. You were running 8th when Ross bumps Austin there. I mean, you follow Sheldon on the high line, finish second. I mean, what did you see, and how were you feeling walking away P2?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was happy with P2, but I mean, if you know me as a person, you know that I'm never just fully satisfied with that. Until I win for all these guys and how much hard work they put in and down everyone at Viking, I don't feel like my job is done. So we're gonna show up every week with the same confidence, and we're gonna win before the year's over.
Glad you have that fire underneath you, Parker. Awesome to hear. This upcoming weekend, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series goes to Circuit of the Americas out in Texas. Unfortunately, last year in Austin, qualifying didn't go as planned for you. What did you learn from last season, and how are you feeling going to the first road course of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how much I actually learned from last season. I'm kind of a little disappointed that I did miss that race, just because I'm going into this year, kind of feeling like I'm a little bit behind from everyone else. Like, they all have a race under their belt there, or most people do, and I'm just, kind of a little bit behind in that way. So I've put a lot into this week of, trying to be as prepared as I can. And, once we get there for practice and everything, can get to work, I think that we will be all right.
Got it. Thanks for going on the details there on how you're preparing. Have Rockingham, where you finished second last year at the beginning of April, know you're focused on each and every race, as you just said, but any track in the first half of this year that you're specifically looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say, I don't know that I'm fully focused on, but I would tell you that I'm, excited for Rockingham, excited for the short tracks. I'm kind of excited with how much work we've put into everything this offseason to go to 1.5 miles and try and, work on that side of our program. So I think that Danny's done good in the last couple of years at all the short tracks, and I feel like I've shown some stuff in the short tracks, so I think that that's where we're going to really show out this year.
Got it. Really can hear your excitement. Excited to see you guys in those packages for these races. Last question: the playoff system changed from the last several years back to the chase. No winning, you're in. What are your goals for you in the 99 team in 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I think our goal is to make the playoffs. Like, right now, we started the year pretty good, but we just got to be consistent every week and show up and do what our job is we know we need to do. And that is to be consistent every week and just take what it'll give us. And, like I said, we've had a good first 2 weeks, but nobody is fully satisfied at this team. So we're going to keep working. We're going to try and be a playoff team when it comes down to it, but we got to stay focused on one race at a time.
Awesome. Really appreciate to see where your focus is on, week in and week out, but of course, big season as a whole. So appreciate all those details and the insight, Parker. We'll be pulling for you out in Austin, and hope to have you on the show before the season ends. Best of luck, all right?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yep. Thanks, Parker. Have a good one, man.
Now for the drivers to look out for the Truck Series race from St. Petersburg, Florida. Open wheel legend Dario Franchitti hopping on board Tricon Garage number 1. Jimmy Johnson is the crew chief, as we were just talking. What will happen with that? Can't wait to see. Another Tricon Garage ringer on the road courses, Adam Andretti, hopping on the 5. Caden Honeycutt on the number 11. We saw Corey Heim get road course wins in that 11 last year. What can Hayden do? Think he can do pretty well. Two more full-time drivers that I believe can do some damage. Justin Haley, Taylor Gray. Don't forget Andres Perez de Laura. Had him on the show 2 episodes ago. A lot of open wheel experience, a road course under his resume as well. Two more full-time guys with a lot of road course experience under their belt too. Ben Rhodes, 2-time Truck Series champ with Truck Series road courses wins underneath his belt. And Jake Garcia, have seen him run up front at Lime Rock. What can he do in St. Petersburg? O'Reilly Series drivers to look out for, Circuit of the Americas. Starting off with the guy that just won in Atlanta. He's done well on the road courses last year. Also, Sheldon Creed. Connor Zilich, the guy that won the most races in the Xfinity Series last season. He was dominant as all heck last year in the 88. Can he get the win? We'll see. Jesse Love, last year's Xfinity/O'Reilly Series champ. Shane Van Gisbergen, the ringer that is the favorite. No need to argue for him. Brent Cruz, his first O'Reilly race of the year. Can he get up front? I sure think so. Austin Hill, he's won road courses before, and we know how hot he has been in Daytona and the rest of those super speedways. Jeb Burton has been on a hot streak on the road courses recently, and don't count out Nick Sanchez as well. Last but not least, another full-time Cup driver in this race, Ross Chastain. Now, the drivers to look out for the Cup Series race from COTA. We'll start out the guy that won a majority of the Cup Series road course races last year, SVG. Don't forget his name, Shane Van Gisbergen. Now, Michael McDowell in the 71 has won road course races at the Cup level also. What can he do? Alex Bowman in the 48, a guy from the Hendrick stable. Can he be able to strike? I sure think so. Kyle Larson, last year's champ. Smart on the road courses, Team Hendrick. You know he's going to be quick. Daniel Suarez, a guy we might have not spoken about the Cup Series this year. We sure have heck interviewed him. He's doing well the first 2 races. We've seen him win at Sonoma before, which is a road course. Can Daniel, everyone's amigo, get it done in COTA? I sure think so. Chase Elliott, gosh, he was so dominant at the Cup Series at the beginning of his Cup career, and he still has that skill. Can he get it done? I'd be a fool if I wasn't mentioning his name with Cup Series road course racing. AJ the Dinger, Allmendinger. Christopher Bell, last but not least, won this race last year. Can he do it back to back? I don't know, but he'll sure try. Fast Davies bets, trucks. I am crazy to think Dario Franchitti can win. Maybe a little. But heck, he's plus 2,000 to win. Was in the truck for practice in Sebring a couple weeks ago. Can he contend? Odds are good? I think so. O'Reilly Series. My first thought was way out of the bag. Brett Cruz, top 5. That's a lock. But Brett Cruz, he's not 18 years old. You cannot bet on him. Didn't realize that. Sorry, folks. 2 solid ones. Xfinity, O'Reilly side. Top 5 for Austin Green, plus 500. Top 5 for Jeb Burton is plus 750 if you're feeling extra frisky. Cup Series, Chase Elliott, top 5, plus 235. It's a solid one, too. Trivia answer time. This episode's question is, as we mentioned, this last episode, what year did Atlanta Motor Speedway open in? The answer is 1960. Predictions for St. Petersburg, then Circuit of the Americas. Trucks for St. Pete, Christian Eckes. O'Reilly Series, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, gimme Connor Zilich. Cup Series, I think the 2 Trackhouse ringers take each other out. Tyler Reddick, gimme 3 in a row. Heck yeah, I'm drinking that Kool-Aid. As always, we're sponsored by Magical Travel with Dave, aka Disney Dave Weichert, my father. He'll be able to help you with your Disney and Universal vacation needs. He can be reached at DisneyDaveW@Verizon.net. Please don't forget to follow all the Splash of Gas social media for midweek and on-track updates. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are all Splash of Gas with Dave Weichert. Hope everyone has enjoyed all the driver interviews and so much more on this episode of Splash of Gas. Till next time, Splash of Gas out.